Hey, Waffle Crew. I hope you're all doing great. I'm Mark, and today we're diving into some fresh Reddit tales. If you enjoy these Reddit stories, consider giving a thumbs up, subscribing, or even hitting that notification bell. Let's jump right into today's first story. Sending you all lots of love. This one comes from Pretty Yayflow, and while it was shared a while back, there have been several new developments since then. Before we start, I want to issue trigger warnings for baby trapping, coercive control, physical abuse, and domestic violence. If you'd rather skip this one, feel free to do so. Timestamps are in the description and along the timeline below. Thank you. The story begins. My fiancé and I have a lovely 6-month-old. We hosted Thanksgiving this year, and my fiancé got quite drunk. While chatting with my mom about our upcoming wedding, which my parents are funding, I overheard him talking to my equally drunk brother. He said he had to lock me down and get me pregnant before I figured out what a jerk he was. They chuckled, but it hit me hard, especially since our baby wasn't planned. I wasn't ready for motherhood, and we were using condoms. After a few times when the condoms broke, I decided to start birth control for extra safety. But in my first month on the pill, I got pregnant. We were warned it could happen, and he promised to pull out to be cautious. But I still ended up pregnant. I was terrified, but I couldn't bring myself to have an abortion, though I fully support the choice. So I decided to keep the baby. I work for my dad's business, and my fiancé works at a country club. Money wasn't the main reason I wasn't ready for a child. I just wanted to accomplish more before starting a family. I confronted him about his comment, and he first claimed he didn't recall saying it, which seemed plausible given how drunk he was. Then he brushed it off as a joke, saying it was meant as a compliment because I'm so wonderful. I responded, half-jokingly, that we should get a prenup. I wanted to gauge his reaction, and he was furious. He snapped, saying why would he sign a prenup now that we have a baby and a house together, insisting we'd never split up, and that even mentioning a prenup was insulting and emasculating. I didn't feel threatened, but his reaction made me uneasy, and he woke our baby with his yelling. I asked him to leave, and he did. The next day, he sent a long apology text, saying his outburst was out of character, which was true. He'd never acted like that before. I replied, appreciating the apology but needing a couple of days to process everything. The following day, he sent flowers to my apartment. On Sunday, he booked me a massage at the club and offered to watch our son and make dinner. But that night, he texted again, calling me a jerk for taking his meaningless joke too seriously and saying he was wasting money on a hotel that could have gone toward the wedding. Now, things that didn't bother me before are starting to feel suspicious, but breaking up our family over this doesn't seem right. Am I overreacting or being unreasonable? A commenter pointed out a discrepancy. If you own a house together, why is he sending flowers to an apartment? OP clarified that they'd closed on a house, but were staying in her apartment until the lease ends. A user named Commodore warned, "Please, do not marry this man. End this relationship. He wants you pregnant and dependent. Run. Birth control pills can be easily tampered with. Just a quick microwave can render them useless." OP responded, shocked, saying she hadn't considered tampering and always took her pills diligently. Commodore added, "You mentioned 2 trust funds, one you got at 18. Does he know about them? Without a prenup, he'd have access to that money. Don't be naive. And the condoms, he totally baby-trapped you. Wake up." OP confirmed he knows about the trust fund as it came up at her brother's 18th birthday when her dad mentioned it. OP provided an update for context. When I mentioned a prenup, I wasn't serious. Maybe I was testing him, but I never expected such a strong reaction based on our 3 years together. Why did his joke bother me so much? About a year ago, he lost his job for unclear reasons. For 3 or 4 months, he didn't do much, saying he was figuring out his next steps. That's when he first brought up wanting kids soon. I was honest, saying I wanted kids, but not for a few years. I loved my job, had travel plans, and wanted to be married first. He agreed we should wait. My dad's company got a contract at the country club, which helped him get his job there. While he was unemployed, my friends teased that he was a stay-at-home boyfriend, since I was covering all the bills and rent. It didn't bother me then. I'd lived alone before him, so it wasn't a big deal. But their comments planted doubts. I don't know how often the condoms broke, but people pointed out it's rare. I noticed the first break looked like a split, and the next time it happened again, so I decided to get an IUD. He was against it, but we compromised on the pill. In hindsight, I should have insisted on condoms, but he said we didn't need them since I was on the pill. I didn't push back, thinking we'd be fine. He knew I wouldn't get an abortion unless it was for medical reasons. Financially, my family is well off. I work for my dad's company and have 2 trust funds, one accessed at 18. Before pregnancy, I was planning to start a house flipping business, but I paused that. I now work from home with flexible hours, but he wants me to quit after marriage to focus on our kids, saying he'll provide. I've never liked that idea. My parents taught me to value financial independence, and his salary likely wouldn't cover our expenses. I haven't told my dad because I don't want to overreact and ruin our good relationship. A commenter asked why he opposed the IUD, noting it's harder to tamper with than pills or condoms. OP admitted he sent articles about IUD complications, convincing her the pill was better, though she regretted not trusting her instincts. Another user, Commodore, criticized his lack of support for her career, saying he should encourage her business, not push her to be a stay-at-home mom. OP agreed he probably wouldn't support her balancing work and motherhood, especially since he said he doesn't want a big age gap between kids. In her next update, OP, 23F, recapped the Thanksgiving joke where her fiancé, 26M, said he got her pregnant to tie her down. She sought Reddit's advice to avoid involving friends or family who are close to him and escalating things unnecessarily. Yesterday they talked, but he said he was kicked out of the hotel for smoking in the room. He'd quit smoking during her pregnancy but claimed her stress caused him to relapse. He insisted on staying at the apartment. While she was on the phone with a friend in the bedroom, he took her phone and told her to come eat. Over dinner, he listed things she needed to change to fix their relationship, and his tone made her uneasy. She texted her dad discreetly, saying she felt uncomfortable. When she went to check on the baby, she saw him take her keys from her purse but stayed silent. He took her silence as agreement and slept in their bed instead of the couch, as agreed. Her dad drove 6 hours, arriving at 5 a.m., and she and her son left for her parents' house. Her fiancé has been texting and calling nonstop. She sent a message as they left, explaining she needed space and would stay with her parents while he could have the apartment. They haven't officially broken up or canceled the wedding, and her parents, who paid for it, said they're fine if she calls it off. She feels guilty but grateful for Reddit's support, especially private messages. She's torn. Being a single mom is daunting. His behavior could worsen. Canceling the wedding would cost her parents thousands. And breaking up is scary since they're on the mortgage together, have joint accounts, and she's been with him since she was 19. A commenter warned he's dangerous, citing his controlling actions like hiding her keys and taking her phone. They suggested her parents likely saw his red flags, but supported her choice. OP confirmed her parents disapproved of how fast he got serious and moved into her apartment, but they stayed supportive after her pregnancy. Another commenter listed red flags. Repeated condom breaks, highly unusual. His opposition to an IUD, which he couldn't tamper with. Refusing condoms during her first month on the pill, her pregnancy that month, his outburst over the prenup, disrespecting her boundaries, smoking in the hotel, taking her phone, stealing her keys, and blaming her for relationship issues. They urged her to leave, warning he baby-trapped her to keep her. OP explained he took her phone to get her attention, returning it when she came out. She left with only her son's essentials, and her dad and brother planned to retrieve her things. A commenter suggested turning canceled wedding plans into a good riddance party. OP said her mom was canceling vendors and the wedding was off. 3 weeks later, OP updated again. She and her 7-month-old son were still at her parents'. She admitted leaving without telling him was wrong, and he was confused when he woke up to find them gone. She went no contact initially, so he called the police, claiming she might have postpartum depression, PPD, and he was worried for her and their son's safety. The police contacted her parents, and she explained she left because she felt unsafe. She resumed contact, apologizing for how she left, and he apologized too. He wanted to give Christmas gifts for her and the baby, so she invited him to her parents for their son's first Christmas. Her parents agreed, and he was respectful, sober, and brought the gifts. It felt like old times. He returned the next day for his wallet, promised to quit drinking, and said he was fine postponing the wedding, missing his family. She declined to return with him, and he seemed understanding. He sent a care package with her favorite things and a note about making her feel at home. They FaceTimed so he could see their son. On New Year's Eve, she went out with high school friends, encouraged by her mom. He texted, asking if she got home okay and if she was hungover, revealing he saw her on someone's Instagram story. She hadn't told him she was going out, as it was a last-minute decision, and it was too late for him to watch their son due to the 6-hour drive. Her dad and brother planned to get her belongings, but he insisted she didn't need to move out, saying he'd wait for her to get over it and stay in a hotel. The wedding was canceled, and her parents lost most deposits, which she plans to repay. She hadn't updated her phone's iOS, but after her sister-in-law mentioned issues with the update, her phone reset while charging. Her ex said his did too. She feels like a burden to her parents, who canceled a trip, and is torn about throwing away her family over a drunk joke that's grown bigger. She acknowledged his recent good behavior but feels lost. A commenter advised ensuring any reconciliation includes an agreement that her career remains unaffected. They questioned his confusion about her leaving since she'd informed him. OP clarified he panicked and called the police before checking his messages. The situation feels terrifying, and it's heartbreaking to see OP second-guess herself, a common trait in abusive relationships where behaviors are normalized. His actions, taking her phone, hiding her keys, calling the police with PPD claims, seem like control tactics. The Christmas visit felt like love bombing to lure her back. Commenters and her loved ones likely saw the red flags, and I hope she stays on the path away from him. 2.5 months later, OP posted again, titled, "Am I wrong for not hiding my boyfriend's behavior from my parents?" She, 23F, explained that she got back with her boyfriend, 27M, after his family guilted her for breaking up their family, hoping to give her son a happy childhood like hers. They moved into the new house, and things were great initially. Her parents usually take a February cruise for her mom's birthday, but planned to skip it. Feeling things were stable, she encouraged them to go. She resumed brunch with friends, but one week it was dinner, and he locked her out of the house because a friend he disliked was there. She slept in her car. He claimed it was because it was late, around 10:30 p.m., but her friend said he saw her Instagram story. He later admitted he didn't like her hanging out with someone who disrespected him. He apologized, and she let it go. When their son was 10 months, she planned to return to work part-time, using her company's on-site daycare. He opposed it, and when she started, he'd call or show up with the baby, making office work difficult. She switched to working from home, but he'd leave her with their crawling baby while he went to the gym, making work nearly impossible. She explained she needed to work to cover her mortgage share, but he said she didn't have to. They compromised with his mom watching their son, but he and his mom criticized her for neglecting the house and baby. Their son's clingy phase made things harder. When his 89-year-old grandma tripped on a toy car OP forgot to pick up, he got physical, upset that she laughed it off when his grandma could have been hurt. She understood but felt like she was always ruining the mood just by existing. She avoided her parents' FaceTime calls while they were away, sending baby videos instead. But one day her mom called while she was working, noticed her swollen cheek, and OP confessed everything. Her parents are flying back tomorrow. Her boyfriend's mom overheard and berated her, saying relationship issues should stay private. A commenter urged her to leave, warning the abuse could extend to her son and that he's isolating her. They emphasized her support network and the need to document everything for custody. OP replied, "I know. I'm trying. He just knows me." In a final update, OP said his mom made her feel like she ruined her life by telling her mom. His mom claimed he wanted to be a family, unlike his own father, and that OP was lucky to have someone willing to care for her, warning it'd be hard to find someone to raise another man's child. Her parents returned, and her mom took her to the hospital where she learned she had a hairline rib fracture. The doctor reported her injuries. She and her son are back at her parents', and she hasn't spoken to her ex. She's meeting her dad's lawyer to discuss next steps. Reading her posts, she realized how bad things were, but in the moment, it was easier to ignore. She never thought she'd be in an abusive relationship, but talking to her mom burst that bubble. This story shows so many signs of abuse: manipulation, love bombing, control, and physical violence. It started with a joke and escalated to taking her phone, hiding keys, isolating her, and physical harm. His mom's enabling, claiming OP is lucky, is infuriating, especially given her fractured rib. OP has escaped twice, and with family support, legal help, and documentation, I hope she stays out. Her son will grow up seeing a mom who chose safety and self-respect over an abusive partner. You deserve peace, not walking on eggshells. What do you all think? It's heartbreaking, but I hope OP's on the right path. Share your thoughts in the comments, and thank you for being here. Your support means everything. See you in the next one. Take care.